Today we'll be covering the installation of the Island 1 gig router. We are assuming for this video that you are performing a first-time setup versus adding Island to an existing already running network. Island ships with the Island hardware, an adhesive magnet and screws for mounting on the wall or side of a metal rack, a power cable, a flat Ethernet cable, and an Island lip bulb. Before you get started, make sure you have the access points or mesh you plan to install. Island is compatible with any brand of access point or mesh except for Google Nest Wi-Fi. Any brand of network switch, a laptop with an Ethernet port to use during installation. We recommend using a laptop for the initial configuration. You will also need the appropriate Ethernet cables to connect the switch and access points. Island comes equipped with 4 1 gig ports. There is a power connection in between ports 2 and 3. An indicator light emanates from the circles at the top and can be white at booting, blue while fully operational, or red or orange indicating a problem. There is also a reset button on the side. Please see our separate video that steps you through when and how to use this button. During installation, you can pick any port to connect the Island to your modem or modem router combo unit provided by your ISP. Island supports multi-WAN connections, which may be configured for automatic failover or load balancing. The other ports will be used for your switch to distribute your network. It's important to note that these ports are routed ports, not switched ports. Routed ports are very convenient for segmenting your network. Each port has its own MAC address and has its own IP address scheme right out of the box. These addresses can be changed or modified, but again, they are routed ports, not switched ports. In today's installation, we will be using an 8-port switch and a single access point. So, let's get started. Connect the power cable to Island. The Island lights will first be white and then change to blue when the unit is fully booted in about 30 seconds. Plug one end of your Ethernet cable into your ISP modem or modem router combo unit. Plug the other end from the modem or combo unit and plug it into the Island. In this example, we are using port 1 on the Island as the WAN port. If using a combination modem router supplied by your ISP, make sure to place it in bridge mode per the ISP's instructions. Note that all ports on the Island are auto-sensing ports and can be used for either WAN or LAN connections. After you've plugged the modem into Island, it's time to connect the switch. Plug a cable from any port on your Island and plug it into any available port on your switch. In this example, we have a cable going from port 4 on the Island to port 1 on the switch. Next, let's plug in the access point. Take the cable that is plugged into the access point and plug the other end into an available port on the switch. In this example, we are plugging into port 8 of the switch. You have now cabled the hardware, and it's time to configure the network interface of the Island in just a few short steps. While you may use the Island phone app to complete this setup, we recommend using a laptop to avoid having to establish Wi-Fi connectivity at this point, but it is up to you. For the purposes of this video, we will continue with configuring Island using a laptop. Take a laptop and plug it into any available port on the switch. Open a browser and browse to myislandrouter.com. Initialization is highlighted by default. Click Begin. Next, designate an icon for the device for which you are accessing Island. Click on the default smartphone icon and then click to choose from the list of available icons. Click Select and then click the arrow in the lower right-hand corner to proceed to the next step. Assign a name to this device and then once again, click the arrow in the lower right-hand corner. Create a name for the user for this device and select a color for this user. To change the color, click on the default color and then choose from the selection. Once you're done, save and proceed by clicking the arrow in the lower right-hand corner. Next, you'll set the PIN, a 6 to 10-digit number. Be sure to record this PIN somewhere for future access to this Island. If you would like this device to remember this PIN, toggle Remember PIN on this device to the right. Note that the web interface you see here is identical to the phone app interface you may be using to configure your Island. Notice the Island graphic. If you hover your cursor over the Island, you will see the internet connection is good. If you either see a yellow or red exclamation point, please see our troubleshooting video at support.islandrouter.com/videos. In the upper right-hand corner, you will see 3 dots to the right of the flag icon. This is the menu where you may select Help Mode or Geek Mode. We suggest using Geek Mode. Geek Mode gives you more technical details and access to more detailed menus. There's also a Help button that adds descriptions to various functions. We'll leave Geek Mode on and turn Help Mode off. Notice the networking menu reflected by the hamburger icon in the upper left-hand corner. Click on the hamburger icon and then click Networking to begin configuring your network settings. Here is the network page. It will show you any actual throughput at that point in time. And don't be surprised if it's less than 1 megabit per second because there's not actually much network traffic right now. You will see interfaces 1 through 4. These correspond to the ports on the island. Everything on the island ships in automatic mode. We recommend you configure each active interface and set the WAN and LAN interfaces to a specific mode. This prevents any kind of conflicts down the road, especially if you test other devices or access points on your network. You will see that interface 1 is recognized as an incoming internet connection, and you will see Island recommends you set this as a WAN port. Island also recognizes interface 4, which is connected to the switch, as the LAN port, and again recommends that you set it into LAN mode. To implement the WAN and LAN recommendations, you could press lock. Instead, let's click on the LAN interface to view additional options. If you need to adjust the DHCP scope of the interface, you could do so here by toggling to the right and keying in the new range. However, the default range is fine for this example. While we're in this interface, let's change the mode to LAN. You can use the pull-down menu and select LAN as demonstrated. Click Save. We're done with this interface. Click the back arrow to return to the interface menu. Now let's set the WAN interface. Let's use the lock function to set this interface. Click on Lock and you will be prompted, "Are you sure you want to do this?" along with an alert that Island is going to set interface 1 to WAN. And it's done. At this point, Island is up and running. Going through this process is very important when installing new devices like access points and preventing any type of address interference. Just know that these changes will apply only to that interface number. Remember that each interface has its own MAC address and IP scheme for LAN use, so you cannot use the same values across all interfaces. Close the menu, go back to the home screen, and enjoy spending time on your island. For troubleshooting tips or to learn more about setting up devices, users, or groups, see our library of training videos at support.islandrouter.com/videos.